Mr. Blart. Here's a map of the property.
Don't need it. It's already been scanned. Locked and loaded.
Sir, yes. That way.
Had that upside down when I scanned it. That's why. It's on you.
I heard you're pretty good on one of those things.
Been known to dabble.
Monkey hopping it.
Oh! Missed it! Oh!
Still got it.
Come on, Dad. It's a vacation. Try to enjoy it.
Someone's taking down the hotel!
Your uniform, as requested, Officer Blart.
We don't need any backup, Blart. Neither do I. If being a security officer was easy, anybody could do it. It takes a certain breed. Someone who has spidey senses. Didn't see it. That's clean glass. We are trained to detect, deter, observe, and report. But there's one man who goes above and beyond. And I am that man!
Oh, sweet mercy.
I am so sorry, ma'am.
Are you going to want turn down service?
You know what you just did? Jaywalked in a business district, sir.
Actually, it's, officer. You still giving me a ticket?
I'm gonna give you my phone number in case you want to grab a drink sometime.
I don't drink. But I do ride!
Hi, studio audience. And good morning to everyone that's watching who's live streaming on AOLbuild.com. I'm Mr. Movie Phone, a.k.a. Kevin Thompson, and we have a lot of fun today. What happens when you get one of the stars from Wizards of Waverly Place, the director of She's the Man, and the star of The King of Queens? Put them all together, you get Paul Blart, Mall Cop, Part 2.
Nice.
Joining us in the Build series, please keep it going for director Andy Fickman, David Henrie, and Kevin James.
Wow, thank you. Thank
you.
More, a little more, and that's enough. Thank you.
Man, well, you guys look like you have a lot of fun together just watching you in the green room. The premiere on Saturday over at the Lincoln Center AMC looked like a lot of fun. What was your favorite part, guys?
Man, of the premiere, it was great because we broke 2 world records. Guinness Book of World. Yeah.
2 Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes, and it was one was spinning on a Segway. We did a full 360 on a Segway, and then the most people ever doing 360 on a Segway, right? And then what was the other one? Just I don't even know what it was.
And that's how good we are. The mayor's office declared it like National Security Guard Appreciation Day. So we got a proclamation and
that's how good
a proclamation.
Yeah, we don't even remember what the second one was. We were breaking records. Like
I believe
crazy.
the second one was just the most people on a
Segway. Yeah,
most people on a Segway.
It's kind of you win that one by default.
Yep.
Yeah, by winning the first one.
It's a historic day.
Yeah. Historic day. And Kev, I know you said something pretty. You had a pretty funny quote that I read somewhere. Something considering something with Meryl Streep.
Oh, I just said that Meryl Streep has been nominated for was it like 19 Academy Awards, and she won, of which she won 3, and I've got 2 world records. So we're both doing good. We're both doing good. We're both okay. We're going to be all right.
Now, how did the idea of Paul Blart come about?
The first one, we just always saw these security guards. I would see them at the mall, or it didn't even, they could be auxiliary police or whatever it was. It was always, I always felt bad for them in a way because they had to uphold the law in the same way that a police officer would, but they weren't given any lethal weapons, and they didn't have the skill set, the training, certainly that police officers have, and yet they encounter these situations. So I always felt bad. They kind of got abused a lot, and I saw that, and I wanted to make a movie for them because I really do. I really feel for them, and they work hard.
A movie where you get abused and
I get abused.
Over and over.
Yeah.
you're not afraid to be physical at all. What do you do to prepare for your stunts?
Oh, it's just endless sit-ups and working out and constantly. It's when physical comedy is that's what your forte. That's what you have to do. You keep yourself in top physical condition at all times because you never know when you're gonna have to go. So, no, it's actually the opposite. Every time I always do it. At every movie I say I'm hurting so much from this one. I go, next time I'm going to get in shape because I'll just get in shape and you guys can pad me up and make me look a little chunkier, but I'm going to be so ripped and in shape so I'll be flexible, I can do all this stuff, and it just never happens. And they're like, oh, we're shooting tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. Like every time goes by and I forget again and it doesn't happen and it hurts. It hurts a lot. I'm not going to lie, it hurts a lot.
I mean, I think I'd love to see Kevin James on the cover of Men's Fitness. I think it's about time.
I would need 2 covers, but yes.
Now, David, we all know you as Justin from the Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes, yes.
Woo! Woo! A couple of Disney fans. There you go. You can clap it up. Now, how was it working with this man right here, this outgoing stand-up comedian, crazy, no holds bar?
It was a blast. It was a blast. We met in Mexico on another film, and then since then remained friends and everything. And then he told me about this film, and I read the script, loved it, and it was a blast. I got to work with Rainey as well, who I'd known for many years. But no, just getting to hang with these guys every day on set was a blast. It was really fun. He keeps the set real light, real fun. He's got a megaphone he walks around with, and shouts out some pretty funny things.
That's right, I do.
Do you want to give us an example of that, Andy? What would be a typical? What would be? That was
it. Hey, knock knock.
Yeah.
Wait, there we go. Thank you.
See, you could be on one of my sets because that's the sort of crackerjack humor we're working with.
Would you two agree that Andy was probably the biggest goofball on the set?
He did make it very easy when you're doing comedy, especially. Even when you're doing dramatic stuff, I think you keep a light set, man. Yeah, I think he made it very comfortable for everybody to be there and to try things and not be worried about trying different things, so you don't feel so self-conscious about it that you don't do it. So he made it comfortable for everybody. Everybody had fun, and we took ideas from if anybody had a great idea, we'd throw it in there, and we had fun with it. And he kept it a very light set. Everybody had a great time. I've never heard on a set so many people saying that they honestly loved this guy so much and worked with him, and it was the morale of the entire place was really nice. So it was high, and we were happy.
I wish I had been there for more of the filming.
Yeah,
but from
yeah. Well, he would show
from
up late.
a lot of what I've seen in the press
drinker.
materials, you guys looked great.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Andy, now did you encounter any problems at all shooting in Vegas?
Well, Las Vegas, oddly enough, we were shooting at the amazing Wynn Encore Resort Casino. And Vegas, it turns out, decided that they weren't going to shut down Vegas while we were shooting. And so your set is surrounded by people who came to Vegas not to witness Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, but to come and be in Vegas and to either spend all of their money in 24 hours or lose all of their money in 20. So no matter what we were filming, you would just hear like, wow, all day long, and we would have to quiet them down.
We have to shoot real late at that
at 3
hours
o'clock
in the morning.
where you thought, oh, it'll be quiet. That's when the crazy gets crazier.
Like the group of Australians that are in.
But we pulled it off. It was a family movie with, for kids in Vegas, which is what Steve Wynn wanted, so
What actually was really amazing was how when you look at the movie, it really does feel like a family adventure. And all the stuff that you think of as Vegas isn't really a part of our film. It was certainly a part of David's life, but it wasn't part of our film. And But the movie was a family adventure, and that resort is beautiful.
Really
I mean,
is.
that is an amazing
and expensive,
place.
and we broke a lot of stuff there.
We broke a lot of stuff, which is why we're here in New York and not in Vegas right now.
That's right.
Breaking records and breaking stuff.
That's right.
The cast of Paul Blart Mall Cop Part 2.
Yep.
Now I know Rainey isn't here, but we all know her from Austin and Ally. If you guys are into Austin and Ally, I'm a big fan. Now, what did you learn from her? I know you've worked with her in the past, and what did you learn from her as well?
She got, the first movie, she was just this little kid, and it was great. She was fantastic then. But she had a lot of emotional stuff to do in this movie, and she stepped it up. And I was like, we got to act in this one? You know, I was getting worried working with her. I was like, oh my gosh, she's bringing the heat, man. So I was like, I had to step up my game. So she was really, really fantastic. She was funny, but she really, like I said, there was a lot of stuff that, she's going off to college in the movie, and, so I'm afraid of kind of being alone, and we have a relationship. We have such a good relationship on and off screen, I believe. And she was just fantastic. She played the scenes, those emotional scenes fantastic. And she was great with you as well. She was awesome. She really did a really great job.
Yeah, she's so professional. Like, she's always on the money. She comes prepared. She's very well-spoken. She takes what she does seriously. She loves it. So, it was great working with her because she's just on the money. She nails it every time, and she's fun. She's just a genuine person.
So now David was her love interest in this movie.
Yep.
But again, it's still a family movie, so it wasn't anything crazy. It was very nice. It was very nice.
It's like a crush.
It's
just a fun
they had
sort
a
of
glass
fling.
of chocolate milk together. That's about it.
Yeah.
You make it sound like.
Yeah. I didn't want it to sound like anything crazy.
No.
It wasn't.
Come on, man, it's Blart.
Now, there were a lot of scenes that stood out in this. There's an ice cream scene when you're laying on the floor and
I got to refuel. I have hypoglycemia, and if my blood sugar gets a little low, I got to refuel a little bit. So there was one scene where I drafted off of, and I got a little ice cream from a little kid who was, it was dripping from the cone, and her father was holding her, and I was grabbing every drop in my mouth, and it was kind of fun.
Was that a one-take scene, or?
Yeah, oh yeah. It
gets pretty messy.
It does, but it was delicious, so I didn't mind. It was a long take, so it was good. It worked well.
So that scene stood out in my mind, and then the peacock scene.
The peacock scene, well, yes.
To be clear, it's an African crane.
Is it an African crane? Whatever it was.
A peacock is a different bird who was not available for our movie.
Yeah.
The African crane brought its A game.
It was it was a mechanical bird, obviously, when it fights me, and it fights me for, like, there's a guy back there with a controller, and I literally was beating me senseless. It was just knocking me. It was right. I mean, it was miserable. I was
about
tired.
3 o'clock in the morning, and Kevin, it's one of the great moments because it's in a tiny spot, and Kevin is by himself fighting this mechanical bird at 3 o'clock in the morning and just getting exhausted. And Todd Gardner, our producer, and we're back there, and Kevin's just wiped out. And then we're like, let's do one more take.
Oh man,
fight the bird.
Again, this is one of those moments where I go, I got to get in shape for the next movie, and it just never happens. It's horrible. But yeah, it was a tough scene.
Wait till you guys see this African crane scene. African crane. With that being said, how much of this movie was actually scripted versus improvised?
I would say it was. We follow the script. You have to follow it because most of it because it's got to connect. The story's got to connect. But this is the first time. The first movie I didn't have. Especially when I was chasing the bad guys and doing all that stuff, I didn't have a lot of anybody else to bounce stuff off of. It was just me kind of fighting them. And in this one, we hired a lot of. We got a great cast of comedians to play, like our misfit mall cop, and security guards, and they were unbelievable. So we had a fun time just working off of them, and they would just take stuff, and once we got it, what we needed, we would just say play with it, and a lot of the time we would go with what they said, and did. Yeah, it was a lot funnier than what we could come up with. Yeah, they were good.
I'm a huge Lonnie Love fan.
Oh,
so
am
happy
I.
to see
Gosh,
her in there.
Lonnie crushes it. Lonnie crushes it. Honestly, she's. I've always loved her stand-up, and I always laughed at her. And when I saw her, in this movie, she auditioned. I didn't even know she was coming. And as soon as I saw it, I said she was a lock, and she's going to be massive. She's a massive star. She's just very, very funny. She's great, and she just did a great job in the movie. She really did.
That's also where on the page that character can go any number of ways, and Lonnie brought such an attitude that any line that was written, once Lonnie put a spin on it, you just wanted more Lonnie, and then she would come up with stuff, but it was taking what was on the page and just lifting
elevating
it to a completely different
and willing
level.
to do anything physically. We have that big fight scene. She's great. She was just like, let's do it. So she was great.
Would you say she's your favorite misfit?
She really is. She was. Yeah. She had to be. She was unbelievable. She really did. She crushed it.
What's interesting about her is that she started off as an electrical engineer, then she just kind of fell into stand-up comedy.
No,
was there anything you guys are doing before you?
For comedy.
We still used her on our set though as an electrical
yes,
engineer.
we used her, which was nice.
All of our camera wiring, everything. Lonnie would just took everything she did.
It's a great job.
Chips
Fantastic.
and electric.
And she didn't have a problem with that. She didn't. She was
Andy,
good.
Andy, I'm just gonna keep on lobbing them up for you. You're just gonna keep on knocking them down. All right. Now, was there anything in this film that didn't make it that you wish you wanted it to be in it so badly? Anything cut?
What was it?
I think that there's always stuff when you're filming a movie that feels great, and then for a variety of reasons doesn't make the final cut.
Right.
It can be time, it can be pacing, concert footage we shoot.
Oh, that's right.
There's all kinds of things that is so great, and it's just not, as you're retelling the story in editorial, you realize it's no longer tracking.
Right, it doesn't fit, or you got to, it's a timing thing too. Through it, you want to get the audience can start getting, in their seats, getting antsy if you're not rolling with them, and you want the tightest version, especially in comedy. I think the tightest version you can get, and some things just have to go.
You don't cut stuff a lot of times because it's not working. You cut it for time. Probably the biggest thing we cut was David Henrie's entire character.
That was it. We had to bring that down.
I mean, it's great that he's here.
It was good,
and he's still promoting like a champ. But in the
commit to
DVD,
press.
you're going to see some amazing work from David.
Yeah. And we did voiceover with Lonnie. Lonnie did all his voiceover. So
Lonnie
it's his face
great,
with Lonnie Love's voice.
Again, David, he's a great guy.
He is a good guy.
Lots
and he's
of
a
love
good
for
sport
him.
too. But
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was good.
We love
Thank
David.
you.
You guys love David out there, don't you?
Oh,
Thank you.
come on.
Thank you.
Who doesn't love a little David Henrie? Come on.
You know who for real did get cut? Well, we thought got cut. My little Kevin was nice enough to give my brother a little cameo in a party scene, and for the longest time he told my brother, "You got cut." So my brother was upset the whole time, thinking, "Oh man, my one line got cut or whatever." And then he came to the premiere last night and he was back in.
You'd never know.
He was very happy about it.
It's all about the movie. Whatever makes it. I cut my kids out of a movie. I had to cut him. I did. I had him in. It was like in Zookeeper, a scene, and I'm like, I gotta cut. I told my wife, she's like, "Are you kidding me? It didn't track. I gotta get this. The whole scene. We gotta lose it. I gotta cut him." And they're like, "You can't tell them." Like they don't know. We'll see the extras and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to cut him.
Man, this business is harsh.
Oh, it's very harsh. Yeah, it is. It's a tough one, but. And it's hard, especially when you get like people like if you give someone a break, like and they have a little small scene, and that scene goes away because you want them to see themselves on the screen, but it's like it breaks your heart sometimes, but you got to do it. It's happened to me too. I get cut a lot of time when I work with Sandler. He cuts me right out of it. So.
You and Adam Sandler, you guys have been buddies for quite some time now. I know he produced this as well, didn't he?
Yes.
Now, you guys, what's the relationship with you guys? Big brother, little brother?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he was obviously, he's been killing it for over 20 years now, and he's a guy I always look up to and just love being on his movie sets, and he's one of my greatest friends, and he's the greatest guy in the world. He really is one of the greatest guys in the world because you ask anybody who's worked with him on their set, they just love it. He's just a loyal guy, and he's incredibly funny, and it's great. We get our families together. It's really the greatest experience, So anytime I hope I get to work with him the rest of my life.
Both of you guys are starting to do a lot of family movies. Is it the transition from you having your children and you just want to make something for them?
I just want to, I don't want to be uncomfortable sitting next to my kids and watching a movie. So I want them to be comfortable. And it's a tricky thing because you want it to be funny for an adult too, so you don't want, because there are movies I've gone to with my kids where it's like, it's brutal and you just got to wait it out. And then there are other great movies, like Pixar makes it unbelievable. These movies where you're watching and you're just like, whoa. It's great for me. I love it, and they love it, and so that's the challenge. You want it to be funny for adults and have a great time, and the kids and the family and everybody. But I want everybody to feel comfortable watching it, and not feel weird. So that's why we cut a lot of David's stuff because it was just everybody was feeling weird. We all felt weird. Like, man, you're weird, and we just started cutting around it.
I get it.
I mean, now, David, we know you as an actor. Is there anything else under your belt? Are you getting into writing? Would you want to direct yourself?
This guy's crazy
talented.
talented.
Did a little, directed a short film. It's on iTunes right now called Catch, nice little father-son story. And then acted in another film called Little Boy, which comes out the week after this one. And Yeah, I'm playing Ronald Reagan in the Ronald Reagan biopic from like 16 to...
I'm playing Taft, President Taft.
Oh, excellent.
All right. I don't know, just threw that in there, sorry.
But yeah, no, it's been good. I'm lucky to stay busy, so...
Don't you guys just love David? He's just so happy. You look so happy.
Oh, thank you.
You do.
You do look happy.
Thanks.
So,
It's the
You walked
shirt.
in just happy.
It's makeup. And the shirt. I told them to give me the happy look, and they knew what to do.
Well, if you could say one great thing about the man next to you right there, from working with him and him directing you, what can you say about Andy?
He
Keep it just to one.
Okay, I'll try to sum it up in one. No, he kept the set so fun, and working with you just every day, everyone was smiling, everyone was in a good mood. He gives notes great. I mean, a lot of
he gives them with pudding. So if he gives
he
you
does,
notes, which is pretty helpful.
He brings a little dessert, gives it, spoon feeds you, and then gives you the note and gives you one more. And then I sit and wag my tail and say my line.
What had to be the most memorable moment for you guys while you were on set?
Oh, man.
It's a lot.
I was in a massive Las Vegas nightly show, Le Rev, and I was at the top of, it's an aquatic show, and that's the first time I've ever used the word aquatic, by the way, which means water, in case you're lost on it, but I was in a big water show, dancing, doing what I was born to do, and it happened. It just happened, right? It blew up. It was great. So that was one of the most surreal moments of my life, singing and dancing and crazy with them. Yeah, it was amazing.
That scene was so intricate. How was it to shoot, Andy? Because there was a lot of things going on with the choreography from what was happening in this.
That was crazy. Le Rev really is one of the biggest award-winning shows there in Vegas, and rightfully so. And the fact that not only did they welcome us, but they let us come in and sort of put a tornado, Kevin, in the middle of their show and destroy pretty much all of it.
Yeah,
just pushing people off.
People getting knocked off in the water. By the way, for everybody that got knocked off on camera, most of our crew went into
Everybody
the water.
went in the water
Everybody
at some
point fell in the water. Some of them here today. But that show, you really have to be coordinated to work with them. And a week that we had to shoot it between stunt people, their dancers, their choreographer, everything we were doing. But watching Kevin really get wired up and swinging along, and you can't cheat it. You're raised up in the air.
Yeah, I'm not a heights guy.
We kept trying to show him different angles to convince him it was much shorter, like Stonehenge and Spinal Tap, where we're like, it's really like a foot off the ground. And he's like, that's not a foot, that's 20 feet. Well, I'm not good with math, but it feels like a foot. So. Yeah. But he was a champ every day.
I am a champ every day. And I... 2 world records, folks. 2.
And a citywide proclamation.
But whatever.
Citywide.
But whatever. How many you have? How many world records? Goose egg. 2. All right, continue, Kev.
Thanks, Kev.
You got it, bud.
So now you co-wrote the first Paul Blart. You wrote the second one. Yeah. What motivates you to write?
This specifically, or just in general?
Writing in general, yeah.
You know, when you feel like you can bring something funny and positive, it's like with this one particularly, when we did the first one, it did much better than we thought it would ever do, and we were pleasantly surprised. But we didn't realize how much it connected, and even then, I didn't plan on doing a sequel until a lot of the fans were coming up to us and asking about the character and this and that. And then even then you say, okay, if we were to do it, it's got to be a funnier movie. It's got to be on a bigger platform. You got to make it bigger and better in every way, more physical. And so we said, do you think we can do this? And once we started hitting it, with Todd Garner, who is the producer of this movie and also wrote on it with me, and Nick Bakay, we just kind of put it together, and the idea just kind of flowed. And that's one of the things I look for. If a movie, if it doesn't feel like it's flowing easy and the comedy's not coming easy and it's really difficult, sometimes you just go, you know what, this just doesn't feel like it's working. Not the case with this. The ideas were really flowing with this, and it felt like it was just, it was great. We were happy that we can take it to another level.
We're going to be happy for it this Friday, April 17th.
I hope so. It's a fun one.
Depending on how this does, can we look forward to a Paul Blart Part 3?
Well, you got to wait and see how it does, because you don't want to force it on them. If this one doesn't do well, you're getting a third. You're getting a third.
Paul Blart can't stop, won't stop.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, hopefully it does well.
Now, we all know and love you from your show, The King of Queens, which did 9 seasons.
Oh, thank you. You know, and as important as that was at that time of my life, it means nothing because I have 2 world records right now. No, I'm kidding. Yes, that was great. It was fun.
But I mean, it lasted 9 seasons. Not many shows can have that honor. Can we look forward to you going back to TV sometime in your career?
Yes, I'm doing something now. I want to do another show because I miss it so much. I miss, thank you. Oh, that's sweet. And I want to, I've wanted to do it for a long time. Movies are great, and I want to continue doing them. That was one of the big things. If I can continue doing some movies here and there, I just miss the live reaction from an audience, a studio audience, and filming in front of them. Man, exactly. It's exactly it. And so we'll see. I definitely want to do it, and I miss it, and it's great. It's a fun. We had such a fun time on the King Queen, and just great people, that to work with. They were a great family.
Well, I mean, now you guys heard from me. You heard my questions. I know we have a lot of fans out in the audience right now. So if you have a question, just raise your hand, stand up, say your name, and we'll walk the microphone right over to you guys.
Hey guys, my name's Kyle. Thank you all for coming here this morning and providing laughs. Kevin, you're one of the all-time great comedians. Thank you so much for all your work over the years.
Of course, thank you, Kyle.
Just saying.
Yes.
Other comedians I really admire, Jim Carrey, he did The Majestic.
Incredible.
Your friend Adam Sandler, Reign Over Me.
Yeah.
Is there any potential for some more serious
Absolutely
roles?
not. Nope. It's going to be... It's going to be puppies licking peanut butter off my face for the rest of my career. No, I would definitely be open to it. It's not, it's not something I feel I need to do necessarily. If it would be certainly an edgier role or something darker, or and it was a good story to do. That's what it's about. It's about the script and finding the right thing to do. I don't want to do it just for the sake of doing it. But then I would obviously, I'd like to do it. I tend to go more towards comedy because it's what I love to do. But I certainly would, again, based on story, I would give it a shot. Do some more stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Colin. You're very well dressed.
We have time for one more. No, I'm kidding.
Hi, I'm Mitch. I'm a daddy blogger, and this question is for my son who just discovered King of Queens. Okay. He's 11. He loves it. He loved the first movie. He wants to know how many Segways do you have at home?
I have one. It's like a bent handle on the handlebars are bent now because they gave me one when we did the first one to train on it and get used to it, and I did. And then I said, I don't need it for the second one because I already remember how to do it. And then I forgot, in the second one, we put a much bigger Segway. It's a crazy, badass Segway in this movie. And
did you ever think you would say that on the microphone? Badass Segway?
No, I didn't, but it was crazy. And I was that one I should have trained for, and I didn't train on. That thing it was nasty. It didn't like me. It was unwieldy. I've never used that word before either. So we're conquering a lot of new vocabulary tonight.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Joey, thanks. You talked about movies, talked about TV, all that. Just turned 21 today. Probably dating myself with that one. But what do you guys prefer working on, TV or movies?
Guys, what do you prefer working on?
I have a show on the Disney Channel called Liv and Maddie that Mr. Kevin James just got done starring on last night.
That's fun.
It's for me as a director, it's all fun, different mediums. If you're doing sitcoms, you get a chance to have this live audience, which is you set it up and you hear it respond immediately. Last year, I was in New York at a musical here called Heathers, and Heathers was the same thing. You get that interest. Film, when you're working as a group, you're a team for a couple of months, and you only have each other to bounce off of. So you're counting on what we think is working, and then you go and lock yourself in a little room for 3 months, and then you finally show it to an audience, and you're just waiting to be, is that going to be a laugh? As a director, I love truly all the mediums.
Yeah, TV I think is definitely more fun, especially sitcoms, because you get that immediate sort of result right then and there, and you see if the joke hits. I remember one of the first days I was on set for this, I had never done like a big studio comedy before, so I remember like the first joke I said or whatever, there was no laugh, and in my head I went, oh, let that one go.
That wasn't in your head. That was
also
out
had
loud.
the same response. We thought the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was
Kevin
way
had
too
written
easy.
a very funny joke.
There was a collective. Everybody at the studio on up to.
How did he miss that? That was such funny. We took it away and gave it to Lonnie Love, and she crushed it. She crushed it.
It's so weird how in TV you get the laugh right away, and then film you always get that whoop. Yeah. So weird how that happens, huh?
Kevin never gets the one. We always.
I'm done. But no, TV you get it right away. Film, you sort of have to wait a lot longer until it screens and everything. So it's a much longer journey, especially if you do indies and stuff. You don't even know if they're going to come out. So it's a short period of time that you're investing, and then it takes a long time to then see it later. So yeah.
Wait, speaking of TV, what shows are you guys currently watching? I mean, we had Game of Thrones just premiered yesterday, Louis last week. What kind of shows are you guys watching?
I have 4 kids, so I've seen nothing but, you know, the Bubble Guppies is pretty much all I watch now. So if you know Bubble Guppies, I'm with you.
I have no kids, and I, for some reason, haven't watched TV in a very long time. So I couldn't even think of a show right now.
You're so busy. That's the thing.
My son's 18. I'm Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, comedians makes me laugh. I mean, but I was thrilled that Game of Thrones was coming back.
Any other questions from the audience?
We have time for one more question.
This is it. A lot of pressure, man. A lot of pressure.
No pressure.
Stand up.
Think about it.
Rethink it. You want to sit down right now?
For Kevin, I'm nervous. I know you're putting me on the spot.
Do you want to whisper the question to her and just get a little feedback? Have a mini test before you say it?
My name's Taylor, but I was wondering if you would ever do another stand-up.
Another stand-up special?
Yeah,
I'm working on
the small stuff.
Well,
is
I never stopped
amazing.
doing thank you. That was very sweet.
Still, me and my friends quote it. We watch. I made her watch it the other day. Loved it.
Thank you. It's awesome. I've never stopped doing stand-up. Like, you know, I try to fit it in whenever I can, and I'll go to Las Vegas with like Ray Romano a lot and do it there with him, and I love it. I love doing. You know, it's where I started, and I continue to do it, and we just literally went on a couple tours now where I had some time, a pocket of time to write new material because I didn't want to schlep out the same stuff constantly, and you know, so it was like it took some time, but we got it out, and yeah, I'm gonna do a special very soon. So it's just about finding the time, but I miss stand up. Stand up is again, it's immediate, so it's a lot of fun. Good question.
Now, thank you, studio audience, for your questions. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Before we wrap, actually, David, today's actually Kids Day. There are a lot of ambitious kids in the audience, and you being so young and just so successful, if you have any advice at all to give to the younger generation, what can you say?
Oof. You know, just to I think always putting yourself around people who are smarter than you is a good thing, and putting yourself around people who are wiser than you are a good thing, you know, and always sort of thinking about things bigger than you and not just sort of what you want, I think is always a good thing and helps you stay humble.
Nice. Humility.
Boom.
Boom. With that said, thank you to the studio audience. Thank you guys for sitting down and listening to us. Thank you to the folks
Thanks,
at home.
guys.
Thanks,
you guys.
No problem.
Thank you, guys.
That was awesome.
Thank you to Andy, to David, to Mr. Kevin James.
Thank you, guys.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop Part 2 hits theaters this Friday, April 17th. Log on to moviephone.com for theater listings and showtimes near you. We'll see you at the next Build series.